Hi, I'm Zachary Cowan, the author of the Steady Daily Books, and thanks for joining me for a look and a study of Moses chapter 2, which is the same as Genesis chapter 1, but with some Joseph Smith translation. Now, when we start talking about the creation, it's really important to remember that the Lord has some definitive words about this. In Doctrine and Covenants section 101, verses 32 and 33, he said that when he comes again during the millennial reign, he will tell us all things about how the world was created and more of its purpose. So when it comes to the creation of the world, it's important for us to remember we don't know everything. So don't get so hung up about evolution and don't get so caught up and hung up about the age of the earth, because we don't know everything yet. What we do know is really clear. As you look at either Moses chapter 2 or Genesis chapter 1, several times, if you go through and look for the phrase "I, God," or God said, it's really clear who created the world and that he did it with a purpose. And we know that he created it so that we could inhabit it. That is abundantly clear, that we are not cosmic accidents. But how he did that and all of the details, don't get too worried. What we have here is a pattern. So I'm going to go ahead, pause the video, and check out a brief summary of all of the days. You can go look at these just one day and consider what you learned from the pattern of creation. All right, see you in a minute. Hey, thanks for studying. Some of the things I hope you saw is that God often created by saying words. And he and his sons would go ahead and say the words, like God said, "Let there be this," and then it was so. Well, what are you going to create with your words today? Are you going to create contention and anger? Or are you going to create things that when you're done speaking them, you can say, "It was good"? That's the goal. That's what we're trying to do, is we're not done creating, but we're in the process of doing this. The other thing is, notice that in God's creation pattern, one thing led to the other, and all of these things helped each other. Well, what's the next step in your pattern? What's the next thing you're supposed to do? What's the checklist? It might be important to have those things every day. And look, every day, God had a specific list of things he wanted to accomplish. That might be helpful in our case too, to help us work through things, to get up every day and say, all right, I want to accomplish this. And then we go after it. All right, the next thing then, in like verse 21, 24, 25, you get, when it comes to animals and plants, and it says they're going to bring forth after their kind. Well, that's great for animals and plants, but what are we? What are the kind we are? And God says, look, let me tell you, humans, about the kind of beings you are and the responsibility you have. So pause your video again, check out verses 26 through 31, and see what else you can learn about the creation of human beings and the responsibility God gives to us. Hey, thanks for studying. I hope you learned some great things, that we are the kind of beings that God is. And then he says, look, come forth after their same kind. Well, what kind? We're created in the image of God. In verse 26, it says the image and the likeness. If you were to study in Hebrew, the word image is masculine, but the word likeness is feminine. Remember, we are created in the image of Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother. We have heavenly parents that help us and direct us and give us direction and all those things. And we're to have dominion over the earth, to take care of it, not just to subdue it and to use it, but to help it. We're to help make sure it fulfills the measure of its creation. And we are to do those things. Well, what kind of dominion has God given you? What are the things you're put in charge of? What about in the next 5 to 10 years, or the next 20 years, or even today? What are the things God is expecting you to use your dominion to help it fulfill the measure of its creation and help come along? When we understand why God created things, that it's supposed to be good, it gives us a pattern for every week and every day of how we can do the same things. God's not done with his creative endeavors. He wants to help you today to create a great day, and then a great week, and a great year, and a great life. Hey, thanks for studying. We'll see you next time.